Good evening and welcome to the Friday edition of Sports Tonight. Well, it's been a good day. Not so good for some people. The Super Eagles didn't give us what we really want, but it wasn't a tale of doom from Swaziland. Well, there's a lot to talk about on the show tonight. My name is Yemi Adebayo. Once again, I welcome you to the show. We have a lot lined up for you. But of course, the story about the Super Eagles and what happened in Swaziland sets the tone for what we're going to be discussing on the show tonight. And of course, we'll look at some other issues that you need to know in the exciting and fast-paced world of sports. But first, before I introduce my partners on the show tonight, let us get you into all of the things that we're going to be doing on the show tonight. We know you're eager to, voice your opinion, give suggestions, your comments on everything that has happened today. So let's bring you in. This is how you can do that. You can get across to us on Facebook. You can get across to us on Twitter. On Facebook, it is Channels-Sports, and of course on Twitter, it is at Channels_Sports. You can also tweet at the other handle that you have on screen. We do our best to read your thought out loud. Okay. You can also read all our top stories on channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. You can also visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device, if it's iPad, iPhone, and all the others. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. All of this you need to know. All of this you need to do to, get us live and be a part of everything that we're doing on the show. Well, I talked about Nigeria, Swaziland, and I think it's only fitting to allow you see that game and make up your own mind. And of course, send tweets, Facebook comments to us after you see that game, just in case you've not seen it before. But even if you've seen it, just look at it again. We'll come back for more on Sports Tonight.
Well over 5 minutes with Bodnos Nose taking a bashing. Now, from range, that shot is straight down the throat of Carly Game. More like it from Sadesi.
Yes, which is what we haven't seen of him playing that much far high up.
Keeper came. Keeper is in trouble. All sorts of trouble. Fortunately for him, he had 4 back on the line. So, the Super Eagles still pro. Simon sees a couple of attempts to test Dwebo, crack into a few Swaziland players, but where was he going then, Dwebo?
Missed the ball completely. And yes, they had all the bodies behind him. Well, maybe what worked well for him is that when he went out, the rest of the team remained behind on the wall, which is the case that they came in very handy. Look, he had himself in that process.
Oh, it is direct. Oh, and he's redeemed himself as he played it back into danger. There's the double save, and well, the flag's gone up for offside in the end, but each save he made played it straight back to a man in green and white. Nigeria somehow couldn't convert. He'll be happy now. His confidence will be shooting through the roof. It's no surprise, I should say, to see him showing some teeth.
That second save for me was very, very key. Brilliant.
Defensive side for a bit, with Tony Zabeta now taking a few set pieces and good promising areas. A promising situation for Swaziland unfolding then. 2 men attacking that near post. They got the last touch, couldn't steer it towards goal.
Great aggression from the defender. Came steaming forward, yeah. I'm not sure if he was impeded.
All right. Welcome back. Seeing highlights from the game Nigeria-Swaziland took place today. And of course, it's no longer news that the game ended goalless. Well, let me introduce my partners on the show tonight. That was a name I didn't get right the other time. I'm going to make sure I got it right today. Sitting right next to me, Friday Tonic, Saeed Abbas. It's a pleasure to have you. Reserve your comments. I know you want to say hello. Tolu Olorunmoteni.
Oh, the books.
Okay. But guys, let me welcome you. You have a lot to say.
Yeah.
I understand, but let me welcome you. Your opening remarks, Saeed, about the game.
Yeah, it's a pleasure being here once again, and it was for me shambolic. It was nothing to write home about at all. we've been talking about building. I don't know what exactly we're building. Perhaps it's a tower. Since I've been growing up, I've been hearing we're building, and I think the building process still continues. With what I saw, with it was more or less like experimenting. You see the likes of Efe Ambrose going to central defense and putting Abdullahi to right back. Yeah, looking at a bit of experimentation there. You saw Masondo Lise taking out
bringing in Rabiu Ibrahim,
Mikel Obi, then bringing in Obafemi Martins to play from the offensive side of the midfield, which is the 10th position. We saw that didn't really work for them at all. But I just hope in subsequent matches the Eagles just get their hearts right and give the Nigerians what they deserve.
All right, Tolu, remarks about the game. I know you're disappointed. Most of us are, but your comments, really.
Oh, well, I wouldn't be able to say so much because no thanks to traffic, I missed the first half of the game entirely, but I saw the whole second half and I thought we could have done better. I also couldn't explain why at 70 minutes and with 120 minutes left to play, we were handling the game like we had the final 20 minutes of the game to play, having 5 attackers on the field and an away game, when we still have another 90 minutes to prosecute just days later in Nigeria, and when we had an advantage and we
looks like desperation.
We looked desperate for no just cause. I did not know why we had 5 attackers and 2 midfielders out of the game where we only needed to see out, manage a clean sheet. We put ourselves under undue pressure and we're lucky, although they didn't pose much of a threat afterwards during that period, but we were lucky to have come off with a goalless draw. Maybe if it was a different team entirely, we could have had the opposition coach as bringing in attackers, trying to react to that, those changes, but we didn't see the Swazilands do that. Or whatever it is they're called, I'm sorry.
Okay.
We didn't do that, and we just saw how we're able to roll around and just roll over them eventually. It is disappointing, but this is a game we should have won. We had it in our hands and we just lost it. We failed to win it. I think a lot of positives, but then I thought there were some changes that were necessary today. I don't know why.
You said positive. You said positive. Yeah, I'll allow you something. You said positive. I don't know if Said agrees. Is there any positive you could take out from this? Some would say the fact that we didn't lose is also a positive. Some would say maybe we will clamor for 1 or 2 players they've already played. Maybe that also is a positive.
To me, I don't know, personal opinion, there was no positive there. If we're going to abandon most of the sports and focus on football, then we should get it right. Swaziland, come on, when you compare the rankings with that of the Super Eagles, there should be no match for the Super Eagles at all. We shouldn't even be saying we want to get we should be happy that we got a draw there. I looked at the whole body game of the players when they executed this particular encounter. It was more or less like there was no flair to win. They were just playing for perhaps saving their legs and all that. I couldn't see much of the enthusiasm in them. Yes, we know there were questionable calls by Sunday Olise, but come on, these guys are professionals. I was just expecting one individual brilliance and then we'll get the goal. But I didn't see that today at all. So disappointing.
All right.
I'm sure if we had actually won this game, perhaps the sins must have been forgiven based on the fact that at least we got a victory there. But there was no victory, there was just goalless. Back-to-back goalless draws now against Tanzania, now coming against Swaziland. So disappointing.
Tolu, you were the one that talked about positives. Maybe you could just pick out 1 or 2 before we leave this issue. I mean, we can't be crying over spilled milk. It has happened. It was a goalless draw. We have the chance to remedy the situation when these guys come to Nigeria. But you talk about positives quickly. Can you give us 1 or 2?
One thing I saw first in the game, I will take us back to the game against the Cameroonians where we streamrolled. We had some chances from set pieces, and we threatened from set pieces also today. I saw highlights of the first half, and I thought we threatened from set pieces once or twice. And then our long balls, which we castigate most of the time, it equally worked. I mean, we also had options apart from just driving the ball to the flank and then crossing in. We had some options in midfield. We looked like we could do something from midfield. Although Mikel looked a little bit caged for some parts of the second half that I saw. But then I think it looked liberated, and just at the moment when he was getting into the groove, he was substituted. I can't explain why that happened.
Okay.
And immediately he was substituted, we could barely get balls going forward. So we know one thing for sure. It's not about the amount of attackers we throw forward. It is the amount of supply we give to the number of attackers we are playing in the game at a particular point in time. That, I don't know if it is a positive for me, really though. Because I think we had 5 attackers finishing the game, 1 midfielder. and then we struggled to have maybe 1 or 2 shots for
Okay.
the entire last 20 minutes of the second half. I thought it was appalling.
Okay.
Really.
I thought you were going to pick out positives.
I did pick out the positive for you.